Okay, we're back down at the shop today, and I'm probably on like week number 1. I just basically worked on this in the afternoons. I've got a lot of stuff done on the razor. I'm going to go through some of this and show you kind of where we're at. I'd say probably about 80% complete, but I'm going to go over where I'm at and what I've got on and how it fit. Hopefully it'll help you if you're going to build one of these Pro XPs or any UTV really, just to kind of show you what the process is. Alright, so starting at the front, we got the winch mounted. I did a video on that. Should have already seen that one. Basically what I did is a two-step process. I got the bumper and the winch and installed that first before the razor came. When it came, got everything installed. That turned out really nice. Got the winch wired up. One tip that I'll give you on the Pro XP, I got this on Amazon. This is basically like a interior upholstery kit. It's a plastic spoon set. It makes it really a lot easier. If you look up there, you can see that big giant dash that used to be here. There's some cover pieces that makes it a lot easier to get off without damaging anything. If you take your time, you can get it off. As you can see here, we got quite a bit of wiring done. Got a little fuse panel plugged in. I ended up using 2 of the ports and 2 relays. So just regular automotive style relays. One of the relays, I actually am actuating the relay to turn on the light bar. It's a fairly high load. And then I split off the other relay up to a keyed on to this fuse box. And what that's powering is all my interior accessories. It may be a little dark in here, but I've got a couple of switches installed here. Basically I did my winch closest to me. Let's see, light bar and rock lights. So that's what I've got going on right now. I'm finishing up the rock lights. The light bar is working. And what I did on my charger or my maintainer, on my old ones I use the Nomo adapter, like literally plugged. Let's see if I can find it here. Here it is. So I had an adapter that actually wired into the razor. On these newer razors, that cigarette plug right there in the center console is always on and connected to the battery. So I just got the Nomo adapter to a cigarette plug and just plugged that in. That's working out really well. So where I'm at now, I've got the roof is on. As you can see, I have the Nomo antenna mounted. Basically that comes down through the roll bar, out and all the way across the dash here, and I've got this end of it here. Probably where I'm going to mount it is actually underneath. I've already removed my CAN bus adapter underneath here. It's going to be a little dark, apologize for that, but there's a CAN bus adapter here. You can kind of see the light shining through the hole, but I've got this nice flat area here right underneath the dash where I'll actually mount the Midland radio with the quick release mount. So whenever I wash it, I'll actually just pull it loose. I'll use some Anderson power pole power adapters to make that quick power disconnect and the antenna. And it will also work with all my ham radios and everything. If I ever want to use those in the razor for any reason, I'll have those standardized power connectors. There's several tips on getting this dash off. Some that I will actually add in. It really helps if you have 2 people, because basically there is, try to get a shot of it here, right here on both sides there's an automotive clip. So you really need to, once you get the dash unbolted, you need to pull and disconnect that if you've got 2 people. Makes it a little bit easier because they can just kind of hold up on that just a little bit, let you slide that dash out and up. As you see, I have the whole dash back here. Let's see. So I have not put the rock sliders on, mainly because I just haven't got around to taking the bottom skid plate off. Those are through bolts. I did finagle the Windfall Mounts on. The only thing I had to do is just not use this center this center clamp section here. And they fit just fine, and I've got a little bit upward and downward movement. I've kind of got them where I'm happy, where the fire extinguisher's there's a little bit of gap here. I didn't want it banging on any of the plastic, but I got both those mounted. And that'll kind of give you a better idea of the antenna Nomo mount. So that basically runs across that bar into a hole all the way up the roll bar and to the forward compartment. Kind of give you another shot here from the side. So just in case you're wondering, so I semi made a mistake here. I would have rather run these actually around this piece of plastic, and there's actually a hole in the bar gusset on that side. It's not super impacting. I'm not really going to have an issue. By the way, this is the CAN bus that I pulled from the bottom. But I could have actually gotten this hidden. As you can see, basically everything is wire loomed up. And I left a little bit of extra cable in case I need to move things around. I'm pretty happy with the stereo in this. I thought I was going to add, need to go to the stage 4. But it's pretty loud. I mean, not that I listen to stereo much, but I think I've talked myself out of actually upgrading just because of the difficulty of getting that subwoofer in here. But if I did want to get it in here, I've left plenty of slack to move this stuff out of the way if it ends up being incompatible with that upgrade. One other thing that I did add is I did add this camera here. That connector is here. It's very difficult to get into, and one thing I'll suggest, I actually connected this before I realized that camera actually has to go into a piece of plastic underneath this. Be very careful with the connector. I actually end up using a small pick tool to actually disconnect the connector. You really don't have any room here to get to it. But if you did it right the first time, it would be a lot easier. But I had a little bit of trouble with it, but I did get the front camera mounted. Really, the only things left really to do, still got the radio to install. We've got the shock therapy springs. I do have the spring compressor. I think I'm going to have to modify this section just a little bit to actually be able to clamp on the tube. That's a fairly small clamp. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but what I may do is just make a extender here. And I may, this bolt's probably long enough, but if I brought this out here, did a connector, I may machine or just hand make that. I've only really needed this one time, but as you can see, that's probably not going to hold that size shock. Haven't done cooler yet. Haven't decided what I'm going to do. I really don't want to do the Polaris one because it's so expensive. But I may end up going that route if I can't find a manufacturer that actually makes a bracket. Or I may just buck down and actually bend up a bracket. I have the tooling to do so, just not really the time to get it done. But we'll see how that goes. I don't know that I'm going to do a rear bumper. I'm still debating that. I'm going to wait until I get this done and actually pull this up into the toy hauler, see what kind of room I have left, because a bumper is gonna probably bring it out to about right there at least. So it'll tighten up the area in the toy hauler. But anyway, that's just a quick update on the Razor build, and hopefully some of these shots will help some folks, especially on this dash disassembly. That's kind of what you got to do with. You got plenty of room. If you're not going to have a sub, you actually have that hole that basically goes all the way to the floorboard over there. There's plenty of room to put stuff if you had a lot of wiring or equipment to put in there. Okay, so that's pretty much it on this video. The Razor's almost done. I'll probably have it done this weekend. I've got all weekend set aside to finish it. And hopefully the park opens up the very next weekend, so should be riding. I have took this for a quick spin once it dried up. The power level, I went from a 1000S to a Pro XP, so this is a lot more power, a lot longer machine. The steering rack has got to be a much different ratio than what I'm used to. It turns very fast, which I like. But just mentioning, because if you're going from like a 900S or a 1000S to this, it's quite a bit different driving it. Anyway, hope you liked the video, and be sure to leave a like and a comment if you've got any questions. We'll see you on the next one. This looks like a fun project.